The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. As always, we like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on out here? Well, not much. Red across the board. Let's call it pink, because it's not big red. But anything lower, I guess, seems like the end of the world to those in euphoric land. S&P's off 1.5 points, the Dow's off 1.8 points, and the Nasdaq's off 1.4 points. Is that the important thing? I think part of it, i.e., is that we went to a higher high today and made higher highs. But to me, is that the story out here today? And I don't think so, because we've made higher highs. The story today is 1.4 billion shares as we start the show at 207 or 208, whatever you want to call it. 1.4 billion shares. We should be doing about 1.75 billion shares. So we're about 350 million shares behind last Monday's move. So we have a whole lot of nothing. Little higher prices, not much lower, but got a lot of pushing a handful of those semi stocks. And my guess is this volume is going to be pathetic by the end of the day. We'll see what everybody does. Some people may say that it is a Columbus Day thing. But I went back and looked. I didn't see that much in the way of lighter volumes in past Columbus days. So maybe there's something different going on I'm unaware of. But pretty quiet other than that. We got a handful of stocks in the semi-space. Everybody trying to drive those higher. But, man, there's not a lot happening today. And you can say it's... You know, they pushed it up first thing this morning. They kind of stayed there. There's no volume. So it's probably all about the close. I don't think there's anything more you can say about today than that, other than this will be, if this continues, this will be the lightest trading day, full trading day in many years. I think, I think you can make a statement that short of the day before Christmas or something, where we truly were trading all day long, this is going to be an extra light day. So what else is happening out here? Well, we got a little history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Today in 1967, socialist revolutionary and guerrilla leader Che Guevara is 39. He's killed by the Bolivian army. U.S. military-backed Bolivian forces captured Guevara on October 8th while battling his band of guerrillas in Bolivia and assassinated him the following day. His hands were cut off as proof of death, and his body was buried in an unmarked grave in 1997. His remains were found and sent back to Cuba, where they were reburied in a ceremony attended by President Fidel Castro and thousands of Cubans. Interestingly enough, of course, Castro thought that the people actually loved him a lot more than Guevara, more than he did Castro. And so he was getting ready to have Castro assassinated and killed in Cuba. Che got wind of this and headed off to Africa to start problems over there, especially in southern Africa. After a few years of causing trouble, in 65 and 66, went back or decided to go down and start rattling and making problems in Bolivia and the rest of South America. And of course, Castro thought that if he was successful down there, that he might come up and toss Castro out. So Castro did one of the things that he seldom ever did, and that is that he talked about where Guevara was on an open phone line that he knew we had tapped. So he dropped a dime on his own guy. Che Guevara, if you ever see anybody wearing his shirts, they probably don't know anything about him. They are probably heads full of mush. Guevara probably responsible for a big pit with about 10,000 dead people in it, mostly anybody that they didn't quite like gays and the rest. By the end, that pit had 20,000 people in it, but he was responsible about the first 10,000. Quite the killer in both Africa and South America, responsible for many rapes and murders of nuns in Catholic churches. He assumed or thought of them as somebody could usurp the leadership of communism, and communism was one and all, and the only thing that truly mattered. Some people think that it was at least 200 and maybe 250 nuns that he had his men rape and murder. So next time you see some moron with a Che Guevara t-shirt on it, just remember, well, I guess colleges these days really don't teach that much. Who would wear a shirt of a murderer, especially one that murdered and raped nuns? Well, apparently there just isn't any history actually taught in schools here anymore, real history. On this day in 1967. Okay, what else do we have? That's about it for the news. Not much going on for that, other than the standard going on. What do we have? Okay. Tesla out. Take a look at this one, down a little bit. Some fairly negative comments. Basically what I've been saying for the last 2 years is that he runs his mouth a lot and doesn't deliver much. He's now, Mr. Musk, is who we're talking about, is saying that he can fix all the electrical problems down in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and all Puerto Rico, I guess, for only 4 times the amount to fix the regular electric system. And, of course, there'll be lots of people talking to him. But, again, he's pretty good on going to these cities that are totally broke and have no money. Couldn't buy his stuff anyway. They all talk it up, and nothing happens. Saw a couple of things over the weekend about his discussions with other big cities that turned to nothing. Basically, he kind of shot his mouth off and really didn't have anything, didn't have what he said, at least the deals with his cities. It's down a little bit, volume's about what it was the last couple of days. It looks to me like it's going to probably come back to this 330 level. I'd still like 365 to short it. We'll talk more about this when we come back.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. So what's happened now? 1.44 billion shares. So the volume continues to meander at a breathtaking pace, which is not at all. And again, we're now about 400 million shares light off of last Monday's move. So pretty extensive. Anyway, we're talking about Tesla. No one was buying it when Elon Musk said, well, we're going to push away the semi-truck that we were going to show for 3 weeks while I go work on this Puerto Rico thing, thinking that maybe he can shame everybody into buying his vision of battery packs that'll all pretty much be, batteries, last 6 years? Let's say they last 8 years. And we're right back into the problem that they had already before. So no one's buying it. Eventually, when you keep just making wild prognostications and you're the person for them, the reason for them not happening, people finally start to give up. And I think we're starting to see the thin veneer of the salesman hit the rubber, or where the rubber meets the road. I was going to try to get the most tortured analogy I could, but that's about as good as it gets today. I'm pretty sure I'll win the award once again at the TFNN award banquet for most tortured analogy. And mixed metaphor. That's a double. Most people don't know that. That's the same award for both things. Anyway, very light volume. Heard some people talk about GE. Last week, when we had the shootings, I always, anytime there's like a big news event, I always think that there's something more going on when people do something that's out of the ordinary. For General Electric, they had the old CEO had 2 more months to go. Well, they booted him out in about 5 minutes when they'd heard, of course, that the news for the next 2 days was going to be consumed with the shooting. And that always makes my ears perk up. The same thing when people try to bury news on a Friday afternoon. You know it's something bad, and it'll probably eventually catch up to them. Their hope is that everybody just forgets about it by Monday, because that's a couple of days off. But when they buried that, I always thought it was interesting. Anyway, more bad news from General Electric, and they've blown through the previous low of 44 million shares from September 8th with 156 million shares. So what can you say about that? The only question is, how much farther back do you have to go? And I think that's a bad tick from August 24th at 1774. I don't think that tick is real. So I'll have to go back and look and find out why that's in there. Maybe it is. Maybe it was one of those bad tick days. But we shall find out. Well, I think there's an easy way to find out. Let's do this. Just take a second. No, it's in there in the original feed. Can't remember what that deal was. August 24th. Well, was that one of those flash crash days? Maybe somebody in the den remembers it. People don't like GE anymore. Questions about the SMH. I mean, this is the balloon of all balloons right now in the marketplace. It did pop up. You got no juice in it today. My guess is this thing is, as soon as it snaps, it's going back to 84 to 82. That's about where support is on this thing. You've had, what, 8-10 days of declining volume in it. The problem is just, when does the music stop? And it's kind of hard to actually say in this, but it could be any day. I did put in my newsletter this morning that I had done a lot of work and gone back to the lows of March 2009. And as much as we were oversold on March 3rd, 4th, 5th of 2009, we are overbought now. It's kind of hard to put numbers on that, but a lot of the work I've been doing in machine learning allows me to finally do that. And I use some Monte Carlo methods to go back and try. To give you an idea, everybody has heard about the chaos theory, and that came from originally a gentleman that was trying to predict hurricane paths. And he would find out that just leaving, he had a big long number with like 8.10506, something with a bunch of digits behind it. And for some reason, in one of his data runs, he accidentally left off the last little digit that was fairly insignificant, but it made a huge difference in his model. And that's one of the things that you can actually do, is you can try that. Does the input, or where you start, does starting a week earlier or later actually change your model quite a bit? How susceptible is it to things like that, just rounding errors, stuff like that? You can find out how well your model is actually structured and whether or not it's just really chaotic. So anyway, I probably ran 30, 40 models, maybe 50. I can't even remember anymore. I just kept running them. As soon as one was over, I started yet another one with all kinds of stuff, different random numbers, everything else. And I came out all the same. And it basically comes down to this. If you want to talk about standard deviations for overbought and oversold, right now we're somewhere between 4 and 5 standard deviations overbought for the underlying conditions, of which I have just about everything I could ever find that you could measure in the stock market in my model. And so it goes back and says, okay, with all these things, the price of gold, the price of bonds, the yen, the dollar, all these different things going in over the last 10 years or so, what would be the price if you had that data but didn't have the price? And for the last 2 weeks, we've done nothing but go up. Why the model said that we should go sidewards. And this is the biggest overbought condition, and actually is at the same level that those early March 2009 levels were at the bottom. It's just as much overbought as we were oversold at those big time lows. So does it break here? Does it go to 6 deviations above 7? I wish we could go back to some of the other times, like September of 1929, but you can't count on the data. In fact, you can't even count on the data in 2000 and 2001 because if I wouldn't have gone through it, I wouldn't have known not to trust it. But a lot of that data, depending on what day it was and what market makers wanted to make you think, they were either double counting buys and sells or single counting the round trip and making the data basically unusable. Eventually a law came along and they were forced to do it one way, but you've always got to look.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and that'd be a good thing today, especially if you have a big question that may take a little while. Market's not doing much. We did go off one whole point during that last commercial interruption. We're down 3 points in the S&P cash now. So if you ever had a big question to ask, this is a great day to do it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other ones. Had an email during the break, wanted me to look at Apple. Apple did get up to 156.73 earlier this morning. It's up 60 cents now, no big deal. This one is basically doing its ABC, and I suspect that's kind of where we're at today. Probably a fairly good doji out here, and if you look at that as an expansion, could take you to 140.95 on a 1-to-1. I'll zoom in on that a little bit. 140.95 is the 1-to-1. 1-to-382 is 134.92, and the 1-to-5 is 133. And if it does the full Monty, 1-to-618, 131.20. And to me, it's this big, huge gap that's out here from about 120 to 126. That gap actually gapped over an existing gap back on the 1st of February this year. That would probably be the support area, which is 120 to about 126. I don't know what would happen to make this happen. Maybe Samsung doesn't deliver the screens that they need to get the 10 out. Maybe it's delayed for a quarter, whatever. But pretty good looking ABC out here. My guess is that even if you got this ABC, you'd get a retest of the 149.16, and you might even bounce around here for a little while. A lot of people think, well, you just ABC and that's over. A lot of times, especially if you come off the top, you get kind of a consolidation on the right-hand side for a while. It goes up, tries to test this 156 a few times, and then rolls over, and that's when you get the real damage. So I'll take a look at that. Question to take a look at Expedia, EXPE. Winter is coming. Okay. Everybody's got to give us a little bit of Game of Thrones. Expedia, a lot of these other ones, this is what I'm kind of talking about. It's not uncommon to see these things come off and then go sideways a while. And I'll go back to Jesse Livermore's book about stock manipulation and sales, and that is that you really can't ever, he said it was almost impossible to sell in a market with any kind of volume on the way up. If you're small players like us, then you can't. But if you're a big stock manipulator like somebody on the street, if you start selling, the whole thing's going to go south in a hurry. The thing to do is to spike the price up of something and then let it pull back and then let everybody think that they're getting a deal. And during that deal is when you start really doing the distribution dance. You get a bunch of analysts to come out and say how great your stock is. And, of course, that is the distribution phase. And why it kind of goes sideways for a while, like we were talking in Apple, is it's not uncommon to see that kind of weakness. Let's take a look at this brother of this one, Priceline. I can be prepared, okay. Priceline, to me, this one's the one, it got to 139.98. This one's awful close. This is the pattern that I like to sell for a ABC down, and that is the huge gap down. This thing went from 2,067 down to 117.74, pretty much in one huge move. So you basically have what, almost a $200 move in this. You're back up. Let's do the retracement on this thing so that you can see it. You've got the retracement on this one, and you're almost there. 1955, 84 would be the 618 on this. And if this thing continued, we're looking at the volume today on it, which is 140,000 shares. That's compared to the 2 million shares on the way down on this. And again, what you probably want to do is look at options on this and just hold your breath for a couple of days and then not exercise them, but actually buy them. This thing, I think, could probably get back up to 1960 or 1965 or something. Yeah, you see a kind of intraday spike that just rolls on over. I think that's what you're kind of looking for in Priceline, or at least what I am looking at in Priceline. So you might want to hold your breath for a day or two. Again, these stocks that are in the $2,000, $1,000 level, not many people actually shorting the equity. So there's not that many people to buy it when something, the wheel falls off the wagon like it did back here on the 9th of August. Now it's recovered that and it's headed back up. The energy's not been all that exciting. But again, the biggest problem is being able to just wait until these things are a fat pitch down the center. And normally that's some kind of intraday reversal on light volume. And yeah, I'm thinking 1960, 1965 might have one more day in one of these things where someone tries to push it up and get at least a few of the shorts out. But do not be surprised that this is the first gap of 3 gaps on the way down. I think you could actually see this one really set up that way. And, of course, you don't really have any good structures down to about $1,640. So this may be one of the bigger $300 moves setting up in Priceline. And there's a variety of things that actually could cause that, from the hurricanes to immigration and terrorism. These things are incredibly fat. They've had huge moves, and just a standard retracement could easily bring you back to the last move. Just a 50% retracement would take you back to 1608. So, that could be big. But my guess is that this thing is set up for kind of another big gap down. So we'll have to wait for earnings on that. Let's take a look here. Okay. Let me check my email again. Okay. Cat. I haven't looked at Caterpillar for a while. Let's take a quick look at that. Okay. Again, 0 signs of a top out here, other than you really had no volume since thing gapped up on earnings on the 25th of July. It did so with 14.2 million shares. Over the last 4 days, 2.8 million shares, 2.5 million shares, 2.7 million shares. Got about 1 million. I don't see much in this. Say, things got 3 nice gaps down below. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Just looking at some of the news things, seeing if there's anything going on out here other than the market continuing to kind of slightly wilt a little bit. Off 15 on the Dow, 3 on the S&P cash, and still off 4 on the NASDAQ. Been one of these things where we did rally early in the morning. There was, by 10:30, there were about 400 million shares, which is, you want to see probably about 600 by that time on a big day, making new highs. By noon, you want to be, pushing 1.4 billion shares. We hadn't even made 1 billion shares by noon today. So it's one of these things, and I think some people are going to make the case that it is Columbus Day, but, we've had other days out here that were supposed vacation days, and the machines never sleep. Almost all the trading's done now by machines, and they don't have to go to a parade. They just continue trading. So it's very tough for me to see that. We continue to look at more and more trading happening in the dark pools. That way the high-frequency traders can't stand in front of these trades. And again, you get a little opaqueness because you can get a lot of trades in on a minute or two before they're actually reported to the general market, although you're supposed to announce them within, I think, 10 seconds of the actual trade. I don't know if there's any enforcement of that at all. 1.55 billion shares as we get in with an hour and 20 minutes left in the trading day, so there's not much going on in here. So I've got a question to take a look at the TLT. Yeah, that is interesting. Okay. So when we're looking at the TLT, you had a little bounce here today, but if this volume is correct, it should scare you. 1.7 million shares compared to the 10.3 million shares on Friday. I'm assuming that's correct. Let's take a look. Yeah, 1.7. So you got a no volume bounce in the TLT. I've been thinking this 122 is a target that this thing's not going to get out of the way of in a near hurry. You kind of got down into previous levels of support, but the volume did increase on Friday. You had 10.4 million shares. So, I don't think that there's enough in the way, especially today's light volume, if that is correct, that has in the way of you testing the 122, 121, 75 area, I suspect on that TLT. And the way this thing likes to jump those things, wouldn't even be surprised to see some kind of news that actually made it jump that area, maybe for a day, and then came back in or something. But, you know, the way this thing likes big gaps, the first gap was, of course, on September 11th when this came down. Now, you had the next one on September 27th, and you're almost set up for the right amount of time for that next huge gap. That's why I think that you could just gap over this 121.70 area, and that may be it. And then it may be time for a reversal. But you've got the makings of everything have a 3-gap play to the downside in the TLT. And the only thing you need is one more gap down. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always post a message in the den. IWM, bearish engulfing candlestick. That's interesting. Yeah, I did see Blade Runner over the weekend. Someone asks. What's with us and the Turks? My guess is that they're not too happy. We have a air base there in their country for mutual support in Europe, and we used to have nuclear weapons there, and I think he found out that we snuck all the nuclear weapons out. My guess is that we don't have any more on that air base, even though we tell them he does. I think he thought that he might be able to go down into the bottom of that facility and grab himself some nukes and become a nuclear power. I think he's kind of unhappy with the way that we're treating him, but it's tough. Blade Runner, was it good? It was good, but not the way that the first one was. It is very tough to say I liked it, but I think it's one of those movies I may have to see again at home. I'm not going to pay to see it at the theater again. It may be one of these things I have to see again to really get the full thing. It's just long. It's 2 minutes, 45 minutes long, 2 hours and 45 minutes, and was tough. But I was one of the ones out there on Saturday ringing the register for that movie. But more than anything, maybe I don't want to give any spoilers. Maybe I'll wait a year, and then if no one's seen it by then, I'll give you the spoilers of my things on it. There were things I really loved about it, things that really bothered me about it. X-Files Season 11. Okay. See anything out here. Okay. Go back and we'll look at a few more. Okay. Take a quick look at the IWM for a bearish engulfing candlestick. Well, it's certainly engulfing Friday's move. Would have been nice if the thing went opened a little higher today. So, yeah, not a lot of juice on this one, 14.3 million shares. So let's take a look at some of these other stocks. We were talking about Wynn the other day, and I wanted to see how this one was doing, still holding up. This is Wyndham Worldwide, WYN, not the other Wynn. 4 million shares on the previous high of August 3rd. And Friday, you had 1.5 million shares today, just 500,000 shares, but it's going a little higher. So some low-hanging fruit out there possibly if this market decides to take a header, as they often do, off of highs. Let's see what else we have had. RFJ, we've seen some of these broker-dealers also show some signs of weakness. Raymond James, which is here in Tampa, July 26, $85.97 with 900,000 shares. You had a big doji on Friday with a little less than 600,000 shares. Today, you're starting to pull back. Not much volume, 225,000 shares. But again, I think there's some lower hanging fruit. A lot of these stocks just not showing any juice last couple of days. And today, miserable volume. We'll be back.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Come join me next hour as we bisect and dissect these markets. Right here on TFNN. Wow!
And just a couple of minutes to wrap up this broadcast day, for me anyway. Tom O'Brien for the next 2 hours. Again, fairly quiet. We're off 4 points on the S&P cash, off 15 points on the Dow, and down 7 points in the NASDAQ on a day where the volume is just creeping along. Normally, we like to see about 1.8 billion shares to 2 billion, maybe 2.1 billion shares when I start my show. Right now, we're just at 1.6 billion shares. So this is going to be a dramatically lighter volume. Somebody in the den posted something, but every day in the newsletter, I put down the volume spread apart by the NASDAQ, Amex, and NYSE, the total volume, both in dollars and share prices, total market dollars. But one of the things is the dark pool percentage. How many of those shares were actually traded and the prices were not displayed to us minions? out here in the trading community. And I do want to show you that there is kind of a trend, or it has been kind of a trend the last 4 or 5 days, and that is that we're in about 39% of that. That tends to show you that there is a much higher percentage of street traders than retail traders over the last 4 or 5 days. Of course, these guys trade on those dark pools because, one, there's no high frequency traders to go after them on it and manipulate the prices. They do have to report them, like I said. I think you start getting into trouble when they're 2 minutes old. But I think the last time I saw any kind of data on what you're supposed to do, I think they're supposed to be reported within 10 seconds. I just don't think there's that much of it anymore. But certainly we're now in the territory 40% of all trades being executed in the dark pool, where we never see them, and sometimes they're delayed several minutes. Anyway, in the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. See you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.